What we have to remember about the radical left is that the only thing that really matters to them is race, and the entire worldview they have must be viewed through that prism, as is going to be exemplified today by Jasmine Crockett during this committee on the redistricting of Texas. But before we begin, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Y'all added two additional Anglo majority seats. I'm just asking for the Texas legislature to do what the Texas legislature has always done, which is to be Texas and not be DC.
Thank you.
Representative Pierson, you recognize the question of the panel.
Thank you, Chairman. My question is for Congresswoman Crockett. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your thoughts on the map. I hear you, I understand. But you did mention something in your testimony that I think is worth drawing out a little bit on. You mentioned previously the two Anglo seats from before.
Yes.
Who are currently in those seats?
One of them is Lloyd Doggett and the other one is Wesley Hunt.
And does that mean one is a Democrat seat and one is a Republican seat?
Correct.
Okay. So the Democrat seat elected a white man.
Yes.
And the Republican seat elected a black man.
Yes.
Okay. And then so today you're concerned about the new Anglo seats, and the assumption that you're making is that it's going to lead to more Anglo representation.
It is.
Okay.
Because so to be clear, because I may have not been clear, these seats are not about who gets elected. They're about who gets to choose who is elected. And so, my district, while it is an African American opportunity seat, it is an opportunity for African Americans to choose their representation. But they don't have to elect a black person. We have a similar seat in Memphis, Tennessee, that historically was always represented by the Ford family. Harold Ford Sr. and Harold Ford Jr. had it, but now it is a white man that is representing that black seat. So it's not about the faces of the seats. It's about who gets to choose who's in the seat. And that doesn't mean that they're going to choose their own race. As you see, two Anglo majority seats, one went for a white candidate, one went for a black candidate. It's not about us as candidates. It's about the people that get to do the choosing.
Well, I would argue that based on the testimony that we've heard over the last week or so, it's both. We're hearing racism all over the place. We're hearing, people want to choose people who look like them, which apparently has been happening. And I just wanted to make it clear that, something that has not been said yet is that there are minority Republicans. I mean, there is a black and Hispanic Republican on the dais. And so I just don't think it's fair to just assume that the Anglo districts are going to lead to more Anglo representation.
But
those were your words, so I'm just
I apologize if that is how it was interpreted, but my clarification is that when we're talking about the law and the Voting Rights Act, it's never been based upon who it is that gets elected. It's based upon who it is that gets to choose who is elected. And unfortunately, adding two more Anglo seats in a state that if we're going on the census that came out in 2021, there were only 180,000 new Anglos to this state. So the idea that we would take the bodies of Black, Brown, and Asian, 95% of what allowed this state to garner two new seats, and basically use their bodies for the benefit of making sure that a shrinking majority continue to hold on to power is wild. When you start shifting people around, they found historically, I want to say it was around the 2010 redistricting, that what Texas did is they decided to add basically low propensity Latinos in one of the districts, so that again, that district would not be Latinos being able to elect their representation because they took people that they knew had a low propensity to show up.
And so on that note, with these new lines, political performance was taken in consideration.
That is what we've heard from the bill author, yes.
And in previous hearings, I mentioned specifically that in the state of Texas, President Trump did win a majority of the Hispanic voters in the state. And just to broaden that even further, those are the numbers. President Trump did win the majority of the Hispanic votes in the state. In fact, he flipped, I believe it was 10 counties in the state. So don't you think that is reflective of this map, this proposed map, that the minorities who are here with the new majority minority districts that have been created, it is reflective?
No, Representative, I don't.
So what Jasmine Crockett's actually really upset about is that the minority system touted by the Democrats is actually backfiring in their faces. Okay, now let me explain this, right? Jasmine Crockett's talking a lot about these opportunity seats. And of course, that's going to be areas where you have concentrated amounts of minorities. You want to make sure they get their representation. So you're going to go ahead and give them a seat. Okay, but if we come over here and look at the Texas map that's being drawn up, each of these districts is going to have about 766,000 people in it, and that of course gets them a representative. Okay, and if you look at these blue cities, you have San Antonio, which is about 48% white, Austin, which is about 47% white, Houston, which is about 38% white, and Dallas, which is about 28% white. So in other words, all of these big cities have a concentration of minorities. So this is kind of a double whammy because in general, in every single state, the big cities tend to also be the blue areas. So you have a concentration of minorities in the big cities. So basically the Democrats are doubling up on themselves. So this concentration of minorities gives them the representation, but it also reduces their numbers in the rest of the state. So apparently what Jasmine Crockett's really upset about is that the minorities are not dispersed into the more rural areas. But guess what? You can't really do anything about where people choose to live, Jasmine, okay? But that, of course, is her big excuse. It's not who's elected to represent you, it's who's doing the electing. And correct, it is about who's doing the electing. So yes, while you are supposedly getting 2 new Anglo majority seats, what she's not mentioning is that Hispanic majority areas is also increasing from 9 to 10. But of course, she won't like this fact either, because as is rightly pointed out by the legislator there, is that yes, Hispanics in Texas broke for Donald Trump in big numbers. He won the majority of these supposedly minority seats. So of course, put all of that together, and yes, this congressional map looks pretty darn fair to me. But of course, the cherry on top is the simple fact that as you created more Republican districts, supposedly, guess who they were voting for, right? They voted for the black guy. Wesley Hunt, who's a big-time MAGA supporter, he got elected in that red district. However, flipping the coin, looking at the blue district with minority support, oh, they voted for the white guy, okay? So, of course, all of this is hilarious to watch. What you really want to do is just take race out of the equation altogether and don't focus on it like Jasmine Crockett does, because eventually it's all going to blow up in your face, as we've seen with these opportunity seats. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description, where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.